All right, so welcome to the impressions video of the week. I really don't like, we always hesitate to call these things reviews because this is an early access game. And early access is actually a wide berth, we've come to learn. In the time that we've been covering video games. And
that's the whole thing. There's no guarantee this will ever actually make it to final retail.
True, but this does seem well on its way. Just looking at the notes and what I've played.
And the mechanics are barely broken at all. No, I'm kidding.
No, far from it. I'll get into that a bit, but the early access in the case of Frontier Hunter Erza's Wheel of Fortune is more towards the content side of things than mechanics. At least from what I've seen, the game is fully playable. It's just not all of it is there yet, basically. But before I get to that, this is actually a technical series in that there are two games. This is building off the back of something called Tower Hunter Erza's Trial. Erza seems to be the central character to this business. That being said, that was a side-scrolling hack-and-slash roguelike affair. And this is the other kind of indie thing. That is to say, it's a side-scrolling hack-and-slash Metroidvania. Which is an interesting mix, if nothing else. Because this is maybe not the most combat-focused Metroidvania I've ever played. That's probably still Hollow Knight. It's definitely in that area. Which is always interesting to me because, combat focus isn't really the bread and butter of Metroidvania. I mean, yes, you do have fighting and combat, but
even in pretty fighting ones like Hollow Knight, there's still usually a lot of. Also, you need to use your fighting to not die on spikes.
Yeah, this is probably more reminds me most of Dust and Elysian Tale in terms of combat. Maybe not that robust, but still, you're doing you're not just doing combos, very simple combos, not even Street Fighter level, just kind of 2/3 Street Fighter. What I mean is, instead of doing quarter circle, you do down and forward and attack. That's 2/3 of a Hadouken right there.
Sounds like I might actually be able to pull it off.
Yeah. Or forward and attack, or up and down and attack. Very simple stuff, but definitely more complicated than you usually see in a Metroidvania. Which I can appreciate.
Yeah, you get hold and direction and attack fairly often, but not usually that. Or rather, often there's an advanced tech for doing stuff like down up attack or something, but not that often. But you don't usually need to.
And I suppose that's true here, though. There's a bit of a risk reward with the combat system in that the maybe not combo attacks, but the special attacks are more damaging, but they do take not so much time, but some of them are delayed. A lot of Ezra's sword attacks have a delayed charge to them. And there's like the straight up charge move, which does take some time of its own. So, like I said, I won't say that Ezra's Wheel of Fortune here is treading completely uncharted Metroidvania territory, but it's definitely the less trodden ground. Because, once again, like, Metroidvania, it's a fairly common, I don't know, archetype or game type on the indie scene. So we've definitely covered our fair share of these kind of games. Like, and as far as how this game relates to the overall series, well, as far as I can understand, like I have not played Tower Hunter, but that's apparently the adventure that led Ezra to get her hunter's license to become a battle maiden. And in this one, she is. How do I put this? Like, I guess battle maiden means live streamer, because she starts out the game with literally doing a live stream. Yeah. I mean, that gets dropped pretty quickly when her ship gets stranded in the jungle of nowhere. Probably the weakest part of the game in terms of gameplay and mechanics is because they decided to put in the 2000s shittiest game trend into this game. Do you know what that is?
It could be any number of things. Unnecessary leveling systems, microtransactions, or was that 2010s? Crafting?
Turret section.
Oh, yeah, those suck.
Yep. And that didn't change in this game either. It's a turret section right out of 2002. Like, I should know because I encountered that very same kind of turret section in Tai 2, and I still hate it. Like, it's still boring and dull, and whatever it's doing to break up the gameplay, like, it's not doing much because, I'm doing that at the beginning of the game. There was another turret section, I guess, call it, but it's more like one of the characters is controlling the turret and the other is playing defend. It's kind of weird, but yeah, in this game, Ezra is teaming up with. I'm not exactly sure what her, like, she's apparently like the vice captain of the ship, but she's really Ezra's sidekick, Clara.
Or it looks like Kiara, but yeah. I don't know. If there's a voice line that says it Clara, then I'll believe you.
Well, it's not spelled like Kiara. Like
Ciara, Italian Chiara.
Okay. Granted, that might be a bit of the font. Like,
I mean, it's the same. It's the Italian version of Clara. So
Clara.
It means clear.
Yeah. Who is your sidekick, and probably the character you're going to play more as. Ezra's far from useless, but Clara has kind of a disparity in terms of her attacks. Whereas Ezra is swords, more swords, and a spear. That is to say, she's got a katana, she's got a rapier, and a spear. So, all different kinds of melee weapons. Kiara attacks with shoes, i.e. kicks, and guns. Yeah, that's a bit of a disparity right there. Like, and like I said, you're going to be using her guns.
Well, I guess if you're fighting with guns, you might want to have a kick or something for people who get too close. Especially if she's the one in this image here that has the friggin' like minigun, because those are unwieldy.
She starts out with the minigun, but I tend to use the rocket launchers. Though I desperately need to upgrade her weaponry where I am right now. I just haven't gotten the right crafting material yet. There is a third character I've seen, Nia. I haven't gotten to her yet. I mean, this game says it's got 4 to 5 hours of gameplay, though, mind you, that might have been when this first came out, which was like December 15th of last year. So it's been a fair few months. And I know they have added content to this game. And they are actually, at time of recording, working on another content patch, which is going to add like another 2 bosses and the biggest thing is the plot story is only 30%, only at 30% apparently, and it's also, since this is a Metroidvania, it's got 4 to 5 hours if you know where the fuck you're going. Like that's the thing. Like this is my first playthrough, so I'm exploring everywhere, and I'd say one of the bigger flaws of the game right now is, how do I put this? There's a bit of visual messiness in terms of where to go.
So like, it's not like it's
it's
a lot of the best Metroidvanias are very like they give you a good set piece to remember where to use the next power up you get when you get it.
Not so much that, but
or the next place to advance, whatever.
Like literally, I'm talking about here. Like it's got these very detailed, especially for Metroidvania graphics, but it's not always clear where to exit. Which tripped me up more than once. Like, oh, okay, that's the exit. Yeah, that didn't look like an exit to me. It's like I only picked that out from the map, showing me that was an exit. That kind of detail. Anyway, as far as the story goes, well, that is probably the hardest thing to judge here because, there isn't really much of a story here. It's like Ezra's ship has crashed and, she's got to fix it. And, like, really, this game's seeming to pin its strengths on character interactions. Because you've got Erza, Clara, who... it's one of those, how do I put this? She's... Okay, she's kind of... she's the comedy crush character. Yeah, it's like... if you watch enough anime, you've seen this kind of character. Kind of klutzy, kind of ditzy, very obviously in love with the main character. She even gets the fucking nosebleed at one point. if you want to know how close to the vest we're playing it here in terms of tropes. But you've also got Ezra's hairband, which is actually a demon named Diablo. Whose origins are shrouded in mystery and is desiring a new body with, and I am not joking, but it's a joke that the game made. He wants to make sure his body has a nice ass. Yeah.
Fair enough, I suppose, if you're a being that needs to possess something.
And Clara is apparently confused by that. In terms of like why he would want that, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that joke particularly landed. And this game also has a fair amount of customization, not just in terms of, maybe not so much in the types of weapons. Those are fairly limited to the types that the characters can wield. But there are many types, and there's also a junction system called magic cores. You get cores from the enemy, and you can attach them to not just weapons but armor for various effects. Like increasing intelligence, resistance, attaching what they call allergies, like elemental damage. And so on and so forth. Being able to mitigate debuffs. That's another one. And it's done in this like grid system. And you can unlock further grids to a certain point. If you there's gray squares, those can be broken. And there is a food / cooking system here, but it's honestly pretty underwhelming. Like you buy recipes, you do gather ingredients, and that gives you a boost at a campsite for about 5 seconds. I honestly find it not worth doing. So, that's why I hardly ever did the cooking. Let's see. What else here? There's also a bit of a mission system here, in that you can go on side quests for various shipmates and get bonuses in fulfilling said quests.
That's nice. Those always add a little bit of extra.
I'm assuming that that's another bit of content that's a bit lacking, or at least there doesn't seem to be many quests. At least from what I've seen so far, I think I'm about halfway through what's in this current build. Like I said, I've put in 16 hours, which is way more than what this game is supposed to take, but I don't know where the content level lies, and it's also, once again, Metroidvanias are all about exploration. Like, honestly, if I'm complete, unless you're doing like a bite-sized Metroidvania, and we have covered some of those on the program, being able to clock in at 5 hours, it either meant that this game was really early access, or you're doing it wrong. So, yeah. Ultimately, my impressions are favorable at this point. I won't say it's the best game I've ever played out of early access, but it's definitely rising towards the top. And I really don't have any notes in terms of like mechanics, or or anything like that. Really, like I would say, like having a better way of delineating where passageways are, and there are ways to highlight that. But in terms of like the core game here, it's shockingly good stuff. It's just, like apparently a lot of the content still has to be assembled. Still, quite the miracle that this game plays as impressively as it does, given that apparently this is a small team operation. And this is a fairly ambitious title, for especially for an indie game. It is being built off of Unity, and I'm willing to bet that there are quite a bit in the way of pre-made assets going on here in one form or another. But yeah, this does clock in at $20, though it is on sale for $15 currently. I hesitate for $20, given the lack of content. But here's the other double-edged sword of early access, so to speak. This game is scheduled to go up in price as content gets added. Yeah. We'll price the full release based off of the final quality and content. Maybe 1.2, 1.5 times more than the current price, we hope. So it's Minecraft rules here. I would say it's better to get on the ground floor, ultimately. It does have a number of DLCs attached, but it's all like costume stuff and cosmetics, and from what clothing pack, costume pack, season 2, newbie prop pack, and the soundtrack. Nothing really worth spending money for. I mean, especially since a number of customs have been given to at least Erza. Clara, not so much, but they have included a number of free costumes. Also, you can adjust her hair. No skin color options yet, or anything deeper in the customization. In terms of, let's say, body part adjustment either. But that might be a thing that could be forthcoming. Right then. So any other questions, comments, or concerns about Frontier Hunter?
I think I'm good.
All right then. So that will about do it for this review session. So coming up on the week ahead, let me see. So as a reminder, MSP is off for the season. So it's just Fragments for the next couple of weeks. I think we got about 2 weeks left in our schedule. So with that in mind, coming up on March 22nd, we'll be having Zoo Etisham of Berserk Boy Games, who is working on, appropriately enough, Berserk Boy. And on Friday, March 24th, we're supposed to have one Richard Damon of Eversim, the creators or publishers of the 4th Generation Warfare that Petty reviewed last week. But I have not heard back from him yet. So this might end up getting delayed or 86'd. I'll probably give him a ping tomorrow on that. And yeah, so that is the week ahead. And until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.